Hi and welcome to my channel. This channel is intended to discuss the Sony mirrorless cameras from a different point of view. I'm an older guy. I was shooting photographs in the 70s, 80s and 90s with film cameras, so I know a lot about the history, about what is ISO, shutter speeds and aperture. So I'm familiar with those things, but the new camera has so many settings. And of course you can use it with fully automatic and get good results. But if you would like to use the camera's full potential, you need some understanding about the settings, and sometimes the settings of the camera contradicts one another, so you don't get the best results. Well, I will try to from my point of view give you some tips and tricks. I think each film will be quite short, only showing you one or two tips that you can use and try, and if you're not, one or two tips that you can try out yourself. The first tips I want to share with you is about the autofocus system, because there are so many settings. So I'll just tell you my starting point of view. Let me show you on the camera. I would like to show you my base settings on the camera, which is similar to how I used to take photographs before. I use the function menu because it's much easier than going through all the camera full menus. First, I set the drive mode to single. That means one picture at a time. Then I set the autofocus to autofocus single, which means when I half press the shutter button, the focus is activated, and then I just press to take the picture. And the third thing I would like to show you is focus area, which is where in the picture focus will occur. And I set that to center, which means that I point the camera to the subject, just pressing the button, and the focus is set and I can press the picture, just as I used to do. One extra bonus with this camera, this is the Sony a6300, but I think it works similar on the other. That is something called back button focus, and you can use that directly without changing anything. And if I press the middle button here, then it sets the focus directly, and then I can set the focus and I can take multiple pictures with the same focus and distance, and the camera is not trying to focus every time. And it's also, if you have another area, focus area, if you have the wide, for example, this takes the whole picture into consideration. And if I see in the picture that I want to set the focus in the middle, then I can just press this one like this and take the picture. When I'm ready with the settings in a way I like to have it, then I store these settings for easy access later. If I press the menu and the first tab with the camera, going down and go to page, last page, then I can press memory. And if I have, now I can tell which memory I will store, and I pick number 1 and press the middle button, and now it's stored. And each time I would like to have these standard settings, then I just turn the dial to number 1, and then you can see there's an overview of the settings, and you just accept with the middle button. And now it's set exactly the same as when I stored it. So I don't have to remember all the settings. Well, this was my first video in the subject of videos of use mirrorless cameras for old photographers. You don't have to be old, but you might have old knowledge from film cameras or from earlier digital. This was my first attempt to share some of my information coming from my point of view. Hope you find it interesting. There will be more to come. There is much in this camera, and this is just the beginning. How to start up, how to get good pictures in the way you're used to use a camera. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe and ring the bell.